Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rocco. I was watching a live stream by Tops85401 on Monday, and he mentioned in his video about the coming changes SGC is making to their grading process. And I just have a few thoughts on it. I'm going to put my 2 cents in on that topic because I think it's really interesting. And personally, I think it's going to be awesome for us collectors, regardless of what happens. First of all, I'll put a link in the description box to the article on SGC's website. They have the full rundown on everything they're doing. But I'm just going to give you a few bullet points on what they're about to do. First off, they're going to do a 10-point grading scale because now they have 0 to 100. But they're going to do a 10-point grading scale, adding a 9.5 grade, kind of like what BGS does. They are redesigning the label, and that's a big one because see that label right there? Let's see if I'll focus here. There we go. See that label? That perforated label here. I mean, when I first got back into collecting and I saw BGS SGC cards online, I thought they were kind of a fly-by-night company because it just looks kind of like, having these perforated labels that they bought at Office Depot and printed with a LaserJet printer. It just looked kind of cheap and low rent, and I did not have a positive first impression of the company, so I never even considered buying a SGC graded card because of that. So that's a very positive improvement. Cards are going to be scanned in their holder before shipping and an image made searchable on their website, which is also an awesome thing. But one of the biggest things they're going to do is I wrote down a quote from them on their website. Later this summer, SGC will also be offering a grader notes option, which will allow customers to review the notes made by its graders as they examine a card, which will help better explain the reasons why it received a certain grade. Awesome. To illustrate that, I have a tale of 2 piazzas. This was from my last PSA order. This is from the same order, mind you. I submitted 2 Mike Piazza cards. First one, the 92 Bowman. This got a 6. Now, under closer examination, on this top corner here, there's like a little, I think a fingernail indentation that I did not see before I submitted. And it's a little OC. All right, so we've established a benchmark of a 6. In the same order, this 92 Classic Best Mike Piazza. Hopefully it's not being washed out by the lights here. I took a close look at this card and I did not see anything to justify it getting a 5. My point is that the lack of consistency and, most importantly, not having any feedback available as to why a grade is given. It's just a lack of transparency, and that I think is transparency is definitely needed in the hobby, because if I got a 5 on that card and it's legitimately a 5, and I got an explanation as to why it was a 5, I could totally deal with that. Might have been a surface thing I didn't see. I have no way of knowing. When that card was graded, my grader might have a bias against Piazza. He might have eaten a bad egg salad sandwich for lunch and then graded my card. I have no way of knowing. But at least with SGC doing these changes and actually giving feedback on their grades as to why the grades are given, I think that is an excellent step for the hobby. And also, if you go to SGC's website, on their splash page, they have this image of the sideways image of the 52 Mickey Mantle card with like a computerized matrix of dots over the top of his head. Now, Detective Rocco sees that as a clue. Maybe we're getting a computerized grading system. They're saying they're making a big announcement at the National. I mean, that's a clue. That image on their website is a clue. It might be. I think that would be amazing. Just unbiased grading. Absolutely fantastic. Because as much as, PSA likes to say that they are, completely unbiased in their grading, honestly, human nature is what it is. Whether it be grading cards or in news, there is, people have certain biases, and that's just human nature. So when you add this element of a completely unbiased computerized grade, and with maybe manual adjustment here or there when necessary, I think that's a very, very positive step for the hobby. Now, what does this all mean for the hobby in general? And as far as PSA is concerned, SGC is really throwing down the gauntlet. How is PSA going to respond to this? Because they're going to continue to be the volume leader in grading for a significant amount of time. In order to, SGC is a smaller and more nimble company, and they're able to make these changes a lot more easily than PSA is going to be able to. Because PSA, with the volume they do, if they're going to respond in the same way SGC is doing, it's going to have to be at a more massive scale. They're going to have to scale way up in terms of employees they have, equipment, everything. Web development in order to archive all of the images of their cards. So it's going to be a major investment for PSA. Now, I draw a parallel in this situation for the personal computer industry in the late 90s, early 2000s. Microsoft put out a couple of mediocre operating systems in Windows 98 and Windows ME, and they were the unquestioned industry leader. No doubt about it. It was essentially Microsoft or nothing. And then all of a sudden in 2001, Apple comes out with the Mac OS X operating system. A lot more user-friendly, more secure, and they started eating up a ton of Microsoft's market share. And Microsoft had to respond, and by the end of the decade, they came out with Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, etc. Much more improved. And so all that does is that competition, it makes everything better for us, the consumer. So no matter what happens, I think this is going to be excellent development for us collectors. And I'm really excited to see what happens. I'll be paying attention quite significantly during the National to see what the announcement is. I hope it's computerized grading. Now, I'm already building up a submission. I have a stack of cards that I'm already building up a submission. Will I consider sending off to SGC instead of PSA? I have to say, yeah, I'll consider it. I want to see what's going to happen at the National first. I'm definitely open to submitting to SGC. I definitely am. These are very interesting developments. And I'm very interested to see how PSA responds to it. So Well, those are my 2 cents on this situation. I'm glad Nate brought up this topic in his live stream on Monday. Kind of got the wheels turning. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'd kind of know your opinion on it. Would you be willing to submit to SGC? Am I completely out of my mind? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Okay, bye-bye.